Welcome to Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. A lot of rain in the area this morning. The roof closed here at Rogers Center. Game 2 between the Guardians and the Blue Jays. Left-hander Joey Cantillo for the Guardians. Kevin Gausman making his 6th start of the season for the Blue Jays. Another big crowd. Sounds like 40,000 plus again. There is Angel Martinez, who was a wrecking ball against the Blue Jays last night. Had a pair of 2-run homers. His first career multi-home run game in the major leagues. And he's up in the cleanup, or up in the leadoff spot, I should say, today. He was originally hitting 5th, but Stephen Kwan was a late scratch with a stiff neck. So Martinez up to lead off. George Valera into the lineup. You always got to be wary of Jose Ramirez, of course. And interesting, some of the regular left-hand hitting Guardians are not in the lineup against Gausman because oftentimes a lefty could be more susceptible to that splitter from the righty in Gausman.
Yeah, you just said he was making his 6th start of the season. Oddly enough, his last time out was his first win against Arizona. 6 innings of 2-run ball and 4 strikeouts in that outing. 3rd quality start. Gausman's going to feature that split, that fastball, and a slider occasionally here and there. In need of a good start for the Blue Jays to really round out their game starting today. In the outfield for the Blue Jays, Schneider's in left, Varsho's in center field, and Miles Straw will be manning right field for the Blue Jays. Around the infield, it's Okamoto, Jimenez, Clement, Vladdy Guerrero Jr. at first. Tyler Heineman with his 2nd start in consecutive days to catch Gausman here in game 2 of this 3-game series.
The Guardians winning 8-6 last night. They are now 15-12. The Blue Jays are 10-15. And here is Martinez hitting .340 over his last 15 games to lead it off. Okamoto creeps in at 3rd, and this game is underway with a fastball that Tyler Heineman thought about challenging on the very first pitch of the ball game, but decided against it.
Might have had a case there.
And Heineman's been really good. Went 2 for 2 last night doing it. No doubt about that one in the mind of Quinn Wolcott, who was the home plate umpire. And Heineman might have turned around there and asked a little bit of something about that first pitch of the ball game. But boy, you've got to be so confident about it to do it on the first pitch of the game. Grounded down to first. Big hop for Guerrero, and he'll win the race to the bag. 1 down. Kevin Gausman giving an attaboy to Guerrero for making that 3 unassisted play. Gausman this year has held the opposition to a .198 batting average and has a strikeout to walk ratio of almost 6-1. Keep in mind, he's 35 years old. All the innings he threw last year, more than anybody else in baseball when you include the postseason. And he has come out this year, Caleb, looking every bit as good as he was in the 2nd half of last year.
Splitfinger's been so dominant with that out to Martinez, now 7 for 47 versus the split opposing batters are against Gausman.
The rookie chased a lotter and quickly in the hole. 0-2. He went after a fastball that was not a strike, and then he took a fastball that was a strike. And now DeLauter's got 2 things on his mind. One's the fastball, the other's the splitter. Let's see what he gets. The split, and it misses just outside. One, 2. And he hooks it to right field. It will be caught by Miles Straw for out number 2.
You know, when you get the ball at the end of the bat, like DeLauter did right there, you've got to get a perfect break in right field, and a lot of times these are deceiving. You think it might be a pitch that you freeze on, but right out the gate, Miles Straw breaks in, and that's how he's able to secure that baseball.
You know, a lifetime center fielder, but when with Dalton Varsho here, and when Varsho's healthy, Straw plays right or left and has just looked great in all 3 spots. Well, here's a couple of professionals at what they do. Kevin Gausman and Jose Ramirez. Gausman has held the upper hand in the matchups between them over the years. Ramirez is 4 for 24. That's a 167 average with 7 strikeouts against Gausman. Another 0-2 count. Slaps it the other way, right at Okamoto, and Gausman works a 3-up, 3-down inning here in the top of the first. In the leadoff spot today. Again, the Blue Jays are dealing with some injuries and a lefty on the mound. You knew Straw would be in there, but he is up top this season. And by the way, he's hitting .313 in very limited at bats on the year. Clement Guerrero and then Kazuma Okamoto. How about that 430-foot home run into the WestJet flight deck last night? Eloy Jimenez DHing. Dalton Varsho, Davis Schneider, Andres Jimenez, and Tyler Heineman rounding it out against a lefty today, Joey Cantillo.
6'4" lefty making his 6th start of this season. Last time out versus Baltimore, 4 2/3, 4 runs, 3 earned. Will be categorized as a soft tossing lefty. Fastball will be 90-91. Have pretty good life on it, good extension because of his height, because of the way he releases the baseball. But it's the changeup that will kind of push, pull hitters. And this type of pitcher will really show the disciplined or undisciplined actions of the Blue Jays hitters. They'll have to pick hard or soft, in or out, stay disciplined to really square him up today.
Manager Stephen Devote on the right in that shot. A longtime pitching coach Carl Willis on the left. And here's the former Cleveland Guardian into Miles Straw, 2nd year with the Blue Jays. So 10 for 32 on the year. That's a .313 average. He's got a double. He's got a homer. Schneider will tell you no matter what they ask of him, he's always ready to go and just goes and does it. Pinch hit, pinch run, play defense, start 3 in a row, don't start for a week, whatever the case is. Straw embraces his role. 2-1. So Straw, Clement, and Guerrero here in the bottom of the first. Cantillo faced the Blue Jays last year, but it was in relief in just 1 batter, so none of them really have a book on him, but all of them, as always, they had a lengthy hitters meeting about it before the game. The changeup is a very important pitch for him, as Straw lifts a fly ball towards the right field corner, but lots of room out there for Fry to make the catch. 1 down.
Yeah, let's check out the defense behind Cantillo for the Guardians in today's afternoon affair. From left to right, Valera's in left. We did tell you that Kwan was initially in the lineup in center field, but has been scratched. Martinez in center, Fry in right, Ramirez, Rocchio, Brito, Hoskins, and Bo Naylor, the Canadian, back behind the plate again for the Guardians.
Here's Ernie Clement, another former Cleveland Guardian. Looks at a fastball for a strike. Clement 1 for 4 last night, had an RBI double. Got 11 doubles on the season, tied for 2nd in the big leagues, hitting over 300. And he hooks this one down the left field line. It's a fair ball, and it's another extra base hit for Clement as he jogs into 2nd with his 12th double of the season.
Well, he does it again. He's just got a knack for finding the barrel. And again, we said it yesterday. You can see the changeup grip. It's a hanging changeup out in front a little bit. But when you have length through the hitting zone, just like Clement does right there, you can get it elevated. And a lot of times people say when you hit balls down the line, it's not a great swing. Well, I'll tell you what, Ernie hits a lot of balls down the line. I think they're great swings for him.
Runner at 2nd, 1 out. Here's Guerrero, who takes a breaking ball in for a strike. Guerrero last night 0 for 4, did drive in a run on a ground ball, but did not pick up a hit in last night's game. The Blue Jays looking for an early lead today, and there's the changeup from Cantillo. It's 0-2. Up and away, ball 1. An early lead feels like it would be a very important thing psychologically for this team. They were down 5-0 early last night, fought back to get close, actually got the winning run to the plate in the bottom of the 9th inning when Eloy Jimenez hit into a double play and ended up losing 8-6. Curveball chopped foul, third baseline, still 2-2.
Yeah, it gets tiring, Dan, playing from behind and chasing the game consistently. And when you can give a starting pitcher like Kevin Gausman just a little bit of breathing room, he can really start to use his repertoire and try and get deep into the games. But like you said, psychologically, to have a lead, to start a game with a lead and trying to add on to that, you got to kind of switch the moxie from time to time. And Guerrero's got a chance to do that right here.
Hits it sharply, but it is scooped up by Rocchio, the shortstop. And they will get Guerrero for the second out with Clement holding at second. Yeah,
well, it's 110 off the bat of Guerrero Jr., but an even better play base running by Clement here. This is scalded. Watch Ernie take his lead. He turns to look. At that point, Rocchio, if Clement was to go to third, he could very easily turn, spin, and make the out at third base. Really good base running because now he's still in scoring position.
2 down. Here's Kazuma Okamoto, who has been a bright spot for the most part recently for the Blue Jays offensively. Again, the long home run last night. Also had a base hit. Also took a walk. Hitting in the cleanup spot here this afternoon. Oh, and 2. George Springer still on the IL, hopefully getting closer, hopefully back in the next couple days. But for now, the Blue Jays are still without him and Addison Barger and Alejandro Kirk, and now Nathan Lucas is on the IL with a grade 1 hamstring strain. John Schneider said it's week to week right now. Swing and a miss, and Cantillo gets a couple of big outs after the Clement double, which is left stranded out at second.
Pregame that he has flipped his rotation with Patrick Corbin now getting the start in this series finale tomorrow. Dylan Cease will now open the series against Boston on Monday, and Trey Savage would make his season debut on Tuesday against the Red Sox. Now, Savage, who was on the IL with right shoulder impingement, threw a bullpen under the watchful eye of pitching coach Pete Walker. Savage said he's healthy and the stuff's playing the way it should. Walker told me he was working on attacking the zone as well as commanding that splitter. Now, John Schneider wanted reassurance from Savage that he was feeling good physically, rehab results aside. The plan was always to get him in here and get him going. Cease, by the way, threw 110 pitches last time out. Corbin 65. So Cease will get the extra day of recovery. Max Scherzer is still a go for Wednesday, and Eric Lauer will now pitch out of the bullpen. Guys.
Hazel, thank you. So a lot of moving parts. Okamoto, a great play to his left, and he bounces it across to get Rhys Hoskins. Another fine play down at third by Kaz Okamoto.
Tell you what, I've been really impressed with his defense at third base, and watch the break. Watch how he breaks back into the left. That's the only route you have to get this ball. If he goes straight across, it's going to be by him. Initially, your first move on that X scale has got to be back into the left. Perfect move, and then a good internal clock with that fumbled exchange. He makes a good strong throw over there.
And totally okay to bounce it as long as you give Guerrero a good bounce, and that was a really good hop that he gave Laddie.
Long hopper, no hop, knowing the speed of the runner, that internal clock. Looked like he's getting really comfortable over there with the speed of the major league game.
George Valera hitting in the 5 spot for the Guardians, squibs it foul. So let's go back to Hazel's report and some moving parts in the starting rotation. We begin with Corbin moved up a day, if you will. Dylan Cease back a day. Cease has thrown 106 and 110 pitches in his last 2 starts, so they can give him an extra day. And maybe a side benefit is you now split Gausman and Cease up. And if those are the 2 guys going the deepest into the game, it can really tax your bullpen on the other 3 days. So now you've separated your 2 dudes at the top of the rotation. That is up high. Ball 1. Now let's get to maybe the most notable piece of the puzzle. Trey Savage is back. It's felt like a long time since we said, oh, and somebody's coming back from an injury. But Savage is back from a shoulder impingement. He doesn't need to be activated until Tuesday, when he will start. That is just low, and a bit of a sag of the shoulders there from Tyler Heineman. He wanted it. Again, decides not to challenge, though. It feels like in his gut is telling him he should, but maybe his brain is saying don't do it this early in the game.
Yeah.
Nobody on base. There's strike 3 call, but now a challenge is coming.
Batter challenge didn't call strike.
From Valera. It's a strike.
False confirmed, pitches a strike. Cleveland has 1 challenge remaining.
So the Guardians are down to 1, and that's Gausman's first strikeout of the afternoon. Your thoughts on Trey Savage coming back?
Yeah, I think it's tremendous. I think he brings that type of energy that this club needs, and you love Schneider reacting. You can tell he's invested, and we talked about the open. We talked about the sense of urgency. He's feeling that. You can tell he's handling it great. He is steady Eddie, but you can tell there's a fire in the belly underneath there. But as it pertains to Savage, I think he just brings an element of excitement this team needs. He win on, he's unhittable. And I think to give them length, I think that was the biggest question mark, was is he built up enough to give him length and not have to give him a 2 or 3 inning start? And if that is the case, I think he's in a good spot to do that.
And then the corresponding move, I guess, internally, is Eric Lauer is moving to the bullpen. He will be available out of the bullpen starting tomorrow, says John Schneider. Schneider said Lauer took the news as he hoped he would. Been a lot of discussion about Lauer's role, starter reliever, opener, no opener. So Lauer will be moving to the bullpen. Max Scherzer is going to get another start on Wednesday, and then maybe a little bit further down the road, remember, Jose Barrios is making another start with Buffalo on Tuesday. Maybe 1 more after that, and then he could be ready to rejoin the team. David Fry with a fly ball to right. Routine for Miles Straw, and another 3 up, 3 down frame for Kevin Gausman. Fans, make this Mother's Day one to remember right here at the ballpark. Treat your mom to a Sunday afternoon of baseball. First pitch is 1:37 p.m. The Angels will be in town. Get your tickets now at bluejays.com/tickets. You know what my sister's doing that day?
What?
She's treating my mom to an afternoon of baseball.
Love it. A family affair.
They're coming down.
Yeah, it's a special day as a player. You get to wear stuff that honors mothers or women in your life, and tremendous way to honor them.
Major League Baseball does a great job on Mother's Day raising awareness in the fight against breast cancer. On Father's Day, raising awareness in the fight against prostate cancer. You'll see a lot of pink on the field, on the bases, wristbands, bats, and everything on Mother's Day, and then blue on Father's Day. As Eloy Jimenez leads it off, bottom 2 for the Blue Jays, DHing today.
And for the gearheads, you'll love it. You love customizing your bat. I want to put mother's name on the end of my bat.
Chopped past Cantillo, but the play is made by Brito out at second. Jimenez retired, 1 down.
Custom cleats, wristbands, and then you package it all up, give it to her for a Christmas gift, and she couldn't care less about it. What am I going to do with your cleats, your smelly cleats, and that wristband that's got dirt on it? No, but they're memorable days, and I know every single player just can't wait to get in their locker and kind of unpack their new stuff.
Dalton Varsho hitting an even .250 on the season, 3 homers, has done a nice job against lefties this year as he looks a curveball in for a strike. 2 left-handed bats in there for the Blue Jays today. Varsho in the 6th spot and Andres Jimenez hitting 8th. They're in on the corners against Varsho, and he'll bang one on a hop down to first. Hoskins will make the play. They were in because other teams know that if Dalton's going to drop a bunt down, try to beat it out, it is likely against a lefty, although he never bunts it to third base, but the third base was in nonetheless. Cantillo with a couple of easy outs here to begin the bottom of the 2nd. That'll bring up Davis Schneider, getting a start in left today. Schneider has cooled off in recent days. He had a pretty good hot streak there for a while, but is now 1 for his last 20 and hitting .162 on the season. Schneider was getting, I think, now he touches his helmet a lot between pitches, but I think he was anticipating a strike call and was getting ready to challenge.
I think you're exactly right. And I asked him about that today before the game. I said, yesterday's game, you had a pitch that it almost felt like before the umpire had even called it, you were touching. He said, yeah, I just kind of know now when they like to call him.
Now, he will do it between pitches sometimes, even if he's not thinking about challenging, but I think he was getting ready to hear a strike call.
Love that.
And he has proven to be good at the challenge. He had 2 successful ones, I think, last night. Is that his normal bat?
It is not.
What's he got going?
I'm pretty sure that is a Bryce Terang bat, counterbalance,
which Ernie Clement was using for a while. A 2-out walk to Schneider.
It's got a walk in it, that's for sure.
We talked to Ernie Clement around the cage yesterday about all the different bats he's used, and he will just go looking in the back room and other people's lockers and find a bat, and then he says with a totally straight face, but the problem is they've all only got a few hits in them, and then I got to go find another one.
Yes. Short lifespan.
Well, either Ernie Clement is very, very good at finding bats with hits in them, or Ernie Clement's just very, very good at getting hits.
Yes. Yeah. It could be both. The hand-eye's elite for sure.
Andres Jimenez 3 for 4, 2 singles and a double last night. Pulls a ground ball to the right side, a sliding stop by Brito, and a nice play for the 3rd out. We are through 2 here on this Saturday afternoon, and no score here at the ballpark. Kevin Gausman, since right about the midway point of last season, has put up outstanding numbers, an ERA of .279 over 27 starts, and this includes October as well. This is ace level stuff, and one of the things that Gausman himself attributes it to is kind of polishing up the grip on his splitter. Now, you would think Gausman and his splitter have a tremendous relationship, and there's never any problem. But Graham Johnson on the right there, the bullpen coach of the Blue Jays, noticed midway through last year that Gausman's grip was a little bit different, and I think it's his middle finger had drifted off the seam, and as a result wasn't getting quite the same movement. It was kind of fading away instead of diving down. And before every start, Gausman tells me, Johnson will just walk by him and just kind of like show him the grip. He doesn't even have to say a word. Hey, Kev, and just show him the grip, and that's a reminder to Gausman to have that finger on the seam where it's supposed to be.
So vital to get that north-south type of movement for the split, so that that 4-seam fastball can kind of take off and really play off of each other. When you have north-south movement, you miss a lot of barrels. When it's moving east to west, you can still give up some cheap hits.
So you like that one there?
I love it, and it's late, and that's what I could always tell right out the gate, is if it comes out looking like a slight 2-seamer, that's not the one you want. But watch how he pronates and gets over that, and look at that depth. It's just very late, very depthy, but that's when he's trying to get in the zone. Now he's going to go for the split and chase.
Like that, but no chase there from Juan Brito, the second baseman. 1-2. Foul back.
But down in spring training, Dan, watching some of these pitchers throw their pitches and then look at the metrics, and then you could tell move maybe an eighth of an inch and rotate the ball and see what it moves. A thing called seam shifted wake is a real deal. And it's just amazing how you can move your grip around very, very, very subtly and create different types of shapes. And so for Gausman to get that finger on that seam is vital, and to have someone that's constantly reminding him of that is clutch.
Fastball away, and you can see Gausman knew even before almost tied him and caught that he had missed his spot, and it's 3-2. Bo Naylor next. Fastball in the air, left center, long run Schneider, and it's beyond him and off the wall on a couple of bounces, and that'll be the first base runner for the Guardians today. An opposite field double for Brito.
Off the bat looked like a bit of a can of corn, to be honest with you, but Schneider's playing way in at left field, kind of trying to defend against that short slashing type of action, and it's right over his head. He's ran pretty good routes out there in his time in left field, but the starting position is so important.
Now the Mississauga native Bo Naylor went 1 for 4 last night, and he hits a ground ball to short, not hit hard at all. Jimenez will make the play to get Naylor, but good base running by Brito to come to third. Big 90 feet potentially. If you're the Guardians, you want to capitalize on any opportunity you've got off of Gausman, and the Blue Jays will bring the infield in here for the number 9 hitter, the shortstop Ryan Rocchio. Chop foul. Rocchio, a very good defensive player, started the year at second base, but then their starting shortstop Gabriel Arias went on the IL. Rocchio over to short, and Brito, who's at third, got called up to play second. Pete Walker locked in on Gausman on the mound. Another weak ground ball, and Jimenez juggled so he can't come home. Will get the out at first, but the Guardians have the first run of the ball game.
They're playing contact at third base. The Guardians are in right on that swing. They're taking off, and it looked like there was going to be a play at home, and Andres is trying to get that out. He's trying to secure that baseball. You can see the runner going right there, and just that transfer, that slight bobble, he's got to check down and go to first base. It's those little increments. That's what we're talking about, Dan. Those are the self-inflicted wounds. That it is a high-pressure play. That's a high-pressure, high-functioning play, but I would say 9 out of 10 times Andres grabs that ball, transfers correctly, throws home, and they're able to secure the out. It's these small, tiny increments that I guarantee you frustrate him very, very much, because even though it was a high-pressure play, it feels self-inflicted.
And there's no error charged on the play. It's a ground out, an RBI, it's an earned run and all that, but it's most importantly, it's a run on the scoreboard, and it's 1-0, a leadoff double, and then a couple of weak ground balls to bring in the first run of the afternoon against Gausman. Ahead 0-2 on Angel Martinez, who grounded out his first time up to 96 on that fastball from Gausman, who doesn't throw the fastball inside to lefties all that often, but came inside there. Misses just low. You could see Heineman try to raise it up into the strike zone to make it look like a strike, but it's low, and it's 2-2. And a liner into center for Martinez on a splitter that was down. That was not a strike, and he still got a good part of the bat on it.
He's just swinging the bat really well. You mentioned it at the beginning. Love the broadcast, them 2 home runs, and he's just leaning on stuff. Look, there's not very much movement forward. He's hanging back on that backside. See how he rotates right there? You see the hands moving forward, but the weight is back, and that's what allows him to throw those hands and stay through the baseball. If his weight moves forward, he cuts across it, smothers it, ground ball to the right side.
A 2-out base hit. Here's Chase DeLauter. He'll hit a fly ball to right his first time up. DeLauter was in right field last night, DHing today. Stephen DeVoe trying to rotate his outfielders around, get them off the turf every now and again here in Toronto. And now Martinez is off and running and easily steals second base.
Definitely the hardest pitch to throw on is a pitch that is down and into a left-handed batter. You've got to really transfer your weight, and especially if it's an off-speed pitch, you got to really stay back there. And Heineman's giving it everything he's got. Gausman really doesn't give Heineman much of a chance, and just these little increments, they start to mount. In every single game, we're seeing these little inches starting to pile up against the Blue Jays.
The 2-0. A strike with the splitter, 2-1. And DeLauter will challenge.
Strike, the batter's challenge.
Now they've already lost one. This closer look is brought to you by Specsavers, and it is a ball. So
Cleveland has 1 challenge remaining.
the call is overturned, and the Guardians still have 1 challenge. Again, they had already lost one, and this is a rookie feeling confident enough to risk that second one here in the 3rd inning. 3-2. Don't want to deal with that guy with a couple of men on. Jose Ramirez waiting on deck. Full count pitch. Shot weakly towards second. Backhanded, the flip by Clement to get him for the 3rd out here in the top of the 3rd. The Guardians get 1 off Gausman. Clement with a nice play to make sure that's it. 1-0 Guardians heading bottom 3. Stanley Cup playoff action coming your way tonight. It is game 4 between the Stars and the Wild. It begins at 5:50 Eastern, 2:50 Pacific, and then the Flyers can eliminate the Penguins tonight, 8:20 Eastern, 5:20 Pacific on Sportsnet. Here bottom 3, it's the Guardians 1 and the Blue Jays 0. Tyler Heineman will lead it off. Miles Straw, Ernie Clement behind him. The lefty Joey Cantillo on the mound for the Guardians. Blue Jays got a 1-out double from Ernie Clement in the 1st and a 2-out walk to Davis Schneider in the 2nd. But that is all so far. And Heineman didn't like that one either, but will not challenge. It is 1-1. David Popkins has seen some better signs from the offense lately. They did well to get 6 runs off Gavin Williams last night, but it was not enough to secure a victory. Again, hopefully George Springer back within a couple of days. Addison Barger maybe 10 days, just guessing here, but you put those 2 bats back in the lineup and the whole lineup has a very different feel to it. A little twitch there from Quinn Wolcott behind the plate, but he didn't.
Challenging the call ball.
Now the pitcher is challenging. And he is correct.
Ball's overturned. Pitches the strike.
Is that your first pitcher?
I think it might be. Yeah, pitchers comprise a very small percentage of challenges. It's almost entirely catchers or hitters. A lot of teams have instructed their pitchers, we don't really trust you.
Sure.
You're too in the moment. You're emotional. You're follow through. You may not see it clearly. Heineman grounds one up the middle. Rocchio, high throw, and Heineman is safe. And now a conversation with Ramon De Jesus, the first base umpire, and Rhys Hoskins, the first baseman. Hoskins is not so sure.
Yeah, I think it's Heineman sliding through first base. Obviously, you're going to run through first base, but watch Heineman. He goes in head first slide, and I think the question is, if sliding into second base and you come off, then you can be tagged. But at first base, my understanding is even a slide, you can continue through the base, and that's where you're seeing Hoskins trying to tag him, which he did. But as I think Ramon De Jesus was explaining, even a slide, you can continue on and extend past the base.
As long as you don't show any kind of a move or intent to turn towards second, then you're fine. How many times did you head first slide into first base as a big league catcher?
Never was fast enough to make it close enough. Always kind of chugging well behind the play.
Tyler Heineman beats peak Caleb Joseph in a race.
That'd be close. That would be close.
Miles Straw laps both of you.
100%.
Taken low, 2-1 on Straw.
Yeah, but Heine can run. He can run for a catcher. He's got some quick feet. And that's what you're taught. When you see that throw high, dive. It's a really high IQ play right there by Heine.
Straw with a ground ball left side to second one, back to first, and not in time. Straw will reach on a fielder's choice. Well, you'd like Straw to have been able to get on base and try to make this into a big inning, but at least now you've traded a guy with Heineman speed for a guy with Straw speed.
Ernie puts one in the gap. Straw's going to be scoring.
Clement put one into the left field corner back in the first for a double. Two and 0. Clement, who is up there to swing the bat, he has walked only once this season in 106 plate appearances, but he is swinging the bat very well. There goes Straw, taken for a strike, and there's no throw from Naylor. Straw steals it.
Love that first move from Straw as a base runner against a lefty. As soon as he picks his leg up and you are committed to stealing, you are going. If he picks over, you're dead in the water. But Straw guesses right, and I'm sure first base coach Mark Budzinski had a little bit of tell right there to get him on his horse. A lot of that sometimes, Dan, could be a one look. It can be a two-hold pause. You pick up on these sorts of tells, especially from left-handers. You can sort of pick up on things. If they look at you once, they might be going home. If they don't, they're coming over these certain things, and looked like that was just a straight perfect read from Miles Straw at first base.
Got himself in scoring position now, 2-2 on Clement, who swings through a changeup off the outside corner. And kind of a look of disbelief on his face after he went after that and was not able to make contact on it. 2 down.
Yeah, it's a changeup from Cantillo, and this thing kind of just takes off like a two-seamer at about 80 miles per hour. Super late action. Probably wasn't a strike to begin with.
Is that what you think the look on Ernie's face was? Was the movement on it? Now Guerrero with a drive to center, deep but playable. Martinez the catch, and the Blue Jays will leave another man on. Or so, the Baltimore Orioles had a young first-round draft pick by the name of Kevin Gausman, and there was a catcher who caught him more than 50 times over a 4 or 5 year span, and who knows him about as well as anybody. I don't know what happened to that guy. His name was Caleb Joseph. Any idea of his whereabouts right now?
Oh, man. I think my hairline was a little bit thicker there, but that's a game that Gausman was finishing in Boston, and I think I was telling him, I can't believe they let you finish that game. I'm obviously fielding a bunt here. That's in Rogers Center and making some plays for Gausman, but this is my ultimate favorite. Gausman got thrown out of this game by home plate umpire Sam Holbrook, and I was letting him have it. I was trying to get ejected. I was trying to stand up for Gausman and try to get ejected, and he would not throw me out of that game. But that is a moment that Gausman and I shared that I'm sure we still get a ton of questions about day to day, because they thought, what was going on? It was he got thrown out of the game because he threw a very, very slow breaking ball, and they threw him out. Usually you never see that.
No.
And so it was a big ordeal. It was wild, but many, many years with Gausman. What a great, fantastic guy. And just to watch his evolution has been tremendous.
Jose Ramirez gets a hold of one down the right field line, but he pulls it foul. So tell me, how was Gausman different then than he is now? And you know, what was it like catching him? What were your pregame meetings like? What were your meetings on the mound like when you went out to talk to him?
Truly 100% opposite than what he is now. His personality, the exact same. Love that pitch right there, too. But he was a down and away guy trying to throw sliders, and we were just adamant about trying to get him to spin the baseball. We used the split, but very rarely did we use it before 2 strikes. We tried to save that. Rarely went up in the zone before 2 strikes. And he was just trying to paint down and away. And quite honestly, analytics and technology, it saved his career. But I always caught him wondering, why isn't this guy a superstar? Because very few guys that I ever caught had the pure stuff that Gausman had. And so watching his evolution completely change from a kind of forcing down and away to slider guy.
Boy, look at what Ramirez just did with that pitch. He hits foul, but he nearly hit it out. He picked that splitter up off his shoe tops and just about homered on it.
Talk about adjustability in the swing. He had to bend all the way down to scoop this. Watch how low he gets all the way underneath it. Cuts off the finish to keep the barrel from rolling over the top of it. Pretty good pitch by Gausman right there, especially with 2 strikes. But same guy. Personality-wise, exact same guy. Carefree, but bulldog when he gets on the mound.
Right, really competitive out on the mound, obviously. That is up and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes. To your point about the splitter, back when you caught him, he was throwing it roughly 20% of the time. Now he's more like a 40 to 45% of the time.
And it count-based. That's the biggest thing that I remember, was it rarely being used before 2 strikes.
Now, he was a first-round pick, too, 4th overall. Came out of LSU, great school from the SEC. And by Kevin's own admission, he had a lot of ups and downs in those early years. What was that like from your perspective?
Yeah, it was miserable having to kind of go through it with him, because you see the stuff. His bullpens were elite, and for whatever reason, he just couldn't get consistent outs.
Ramirez lines the ball up the alley in left center. What an at-bat he just put together. Seeing quality pitch after quality pitch from Gausman, but Ramirez wins it with a double.
Yeah, he was 4 for 25 before this swing right here. Sometimes you got to tip your cap. That's a good split going down and away, exactly where Gausman wants to place it. And this is just a Hall of Famer making a really, really, really good swing on a very tough pitch.
A leadoff double here, top 4, with the Guardians up 1-0. And now Gausman to face Rhys Hoskins, who grounded out to 3rd his first time up. See, Gausman is splitting his attention between the plate and second base. Maybe unlikely Ramirez runs with nobody out, but he is the major league leader in stolen bases. He is always looking to help his team out any way he can, and Gausman is well aware of that.
He's a smart base runner, Dan. He's not only has speed, but he's been in the league long enough to know certain tells. He knows how to do it. He's a professional base stealer. So he'll pick up on those same types of tendencies. Does Gausman look at me once and then a one hold and then a go to home? That's what these, you don't have to be fast to be a base stealer. We hear that all the time, but it's really, really true in that if you can pick up on a tell and you know certain tendencies, you can be a middle of the pack type of runner and still advance 90 feet.
And so Okamoto's got to be on high alert at third base as well. And we've seen a couple of times, a little bit earlier on in the season maybe, but that Okamoto was just a hair slow getting to third on a stolen base attempt.
I know there's a right-handed batter in Rhys Hoskins up, but your attention is at Ramirez as the third baseman. If you see him go vacate, I want him vacating immediately versus trying to wait and do both, field your position and be ready for the tag.
Ground ball up the middle, backhanded by Clement. Throw to first in time, but it will advance a runner. Ramirez to third with one out. Boy, productive outs aren't the sexiest thing in the world, but the Guardians are doing it here today.
It's what they do. It's what the Guardians do. They don't beat themselves and they apply pressure.
So now the infield comes in again for the Blue Jays. Here's George Valera, who struck out in the second, the only strikeout Gausman has to this point of the ball game. Likely the contact play is on with one out. This is popped up. Guerrero right near first base will make the catch. A big second out for Gausman. Strikeouts are brought to you by Subway. Buy 1 foot long, get one free with a $0 delivery fee. The offer ends tomorrow. Use the code to save on this Subway digital exclusive. So 2 down, the infield can back up. And here's David Fry, the right fielder, playing on a part-time basis for Cleveland this year. He was an all-star 2 years ago. He can catch, play corner outfield, they DH sometimes, but back half of 2024 and all through 2025 had to deal with some injuries. But when healthy, this guy can be a very productive player. 0-2. Year in 2024, and again that was his all-star season. Ramirez inching down the line at third. 0-2 from Gausman is swung on and missed to get him, and that will strand the runner. Gausman gets out of it after a leadoff double, picking up his second strikeout of the afternoon, and it is still 1-0.
The fourth here for the Blue Jays, and I asked Lou Ionati what initially attracted the Blue Jays to Okamoto in the vetting process, and one thing that certainly jumped out was the way Okamoto was able to move the ball around. In Japan, he hit opposite field homers, pull side homers, and center field homers. And part of why the Blue Jays were so successful and the identity of the team last year, guys were tough outs, and Okamoto fit that bill. He has power, according to Ionati, but he's also pretty creative in the batter's box. You saw Okamoto take a 1-1 pitch and send it out to center field 430 feet away for home run number 4 last night. Dan.
And a lot of his damage has come on fastballs. It's been breaking balls that have given him more trouble so far in his young big league career.
Hazel used the word creative right there. I love that. I think that means he's willing to move and shift in that box to kind of give himself a different look, a different angle, different coverage. A lot of guys get stubborn with where they stand in the box. They want to stand in the exact same place. I think he's willing to kind of move around if he wants to cover the outside pitch. Maybe he scoots closer to the plate a little bit. Looks to me like he has over the last couple days.
He drives one high and deep to center field, and he's done it again. Up into the WestJet flight deck for the second time in as many games. And somebody is getting hot.
Wow, what a swing. He absolutely leaned on it. He knew it right off the bat. It's a four-seamer kind of up and away. And I'm telling you, when you scoot closer to the plate, you can make that outside pitch a little bit more like a middle pitch. And where do middle pitches go? If you got a great swing, right back up the box. Wow, big boy territory up there on WestJet Flight Deck. Beautiful swing.
His 5th home run of the season. He is the club leader in that regard. And boy, for a team in need of good news and positive developments, this is one right here.
And credit him. He's been out there working every single day, taking swing after swing after swing off that velocity machine. I'm telling you, when you don't feel rushed to velocity, it slows everything down, and now your A swing can come out. Give the hitting coaches a ton of credit for getting him closer and closer and closer.
His 3rd home run in the last 6 games. And you know what? The A smile is coming out a little bit more. We're seeing a little bit more expression on the face of Kazuo Okamoto as he starts having more success. Grounded to Ramirez in 3rd. Eloy Jimenez retired.
And we know he wants to pull the baseball, but I just love how he's willing to go right back up the box. Look at the torque. That's the one thing I noticed in spring training, his ability to really lead with the hips, keep the hands back, and that just creates effortless whip through the zone. And it's why he can look like he's swinging, not in slow motion, but very easy to that baseball with a good finish, and it traveled as far as it did.
So the Blue Jays have tied it on that home run. Yesterday's home run traveled 430 feet and came off the bat at 110 miles an hour. Today was 425 at 109 miles per hour. Virtually a carbon copy and almost to the exact same spot as what he did yesterday.
Very similar location from the pitch as well.
Curveball swung on and missed. 0-2. Up and in with a fastball that Varsho fouls back. Okamoto with his interpreter Yusuke Oshima going over some information, perhaps pertaining to that home run, looking at it on the iPad. That's what I would do if I hit 425 feet. He is really starting to settle in. And I think it's something, I know it's something that everybody down there has reminded themselves of. There are a lot of good players on this team.
Yes.
They're not all playing their best right now, and they're not all healthy right now. They just have to find a way to not fall too far behind. Play as they can. And as the injured guys come back, you know, hopefully start looking more and more like the team they were a year ago. Again, the 0-2 to Varsho. And got a piece of the curveball. Boys getting fastballs up, curveballs down. Foul ball. Battle between Cantillo and Varsho.
Yeah, Cantillo's got a little bit of Rich Hill, I believe, in him. Obviously younger Rich Hill, just the way he finishes, higher arm angle, kind of big breaker, really tough on lefties. Varsho really battling, hanging in there. This is a good sign. This is a really good sign from Varsho. These are at bats that tell me he's getting closer and closer. When you're all out of sorts, you're swinging under these balls, you're swinging over these balls to continue the AB. Tells me he's really hanging in there well, not flying too much with the front hip, staying closed, being short, quick to it.
off another one.
And at worst, you set up your buddy behind you, and you can tire a pitcher out in these types of ABs to give yourself or your buddy a cookie right down the middle next at bat.
Little pop up for Ramirez at third. 2 down. Are you a Rogers customer? Watch for Canada's winning inning during the game. Where the Blue Jays get a hit, you could win amazing prizes courtesy of Rogers Beyond the Sea. Kaz Okamoto with his 5th home run of the season, his 2nd in as many games. It's tied at 1 here, bottom 4. And here's Davis Schneider, who walked in the 2nd. Curveball, 0-1. Schneider not happy with the state of the batter's box right now. Smoothing out the dirt, making sure he's comfortable. Hits it down to third sharply, but right at Ramirez, who makes a good throw to end the inning. But the home run by Okamoto, as impressive as last night's was, has tied the game. It's the Guardians 1, the Blue Jays 1 at the end of 4 here at the Rogers Center. From his first swings as a young child to the brightest stage in baseball, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was born ready. On May 25th, the first 15,000 fans will receive the Born Ready Vladdy bobblehead. Learn more at bluejays.com/promotions. That is going to be a popular giveaway, to say the least.
A great photo. Turned into a bobblehead. Look at that smile.
Yeah.
Same kid. He's the same kid.
Yeah. You know, when the Blue Jays were in Anaheim, and remember, Vlad Sr. played for the Angels for 6 years. Vlad Jr. remembers Anaheim a lot more than he remembers Montreal,
Sure.
right? Because he was so young. But he was 8, 9, 10, around that age when Vlad Sr. was an Angel. Ground ball backhanded by Guerrero. Nice feed to Gausman. So Tim Salmon, who is a great player for the Angels, is now part of the broadcast team doing pre and post game for the Angels. And I think on the second day, I was just down on the field talking to somebody, and Vladdy was about 20 feet away. And Tim Salmon came up to Guerrero and gave him the biggest hug, like an uncle would give a nephew if they hadn't seen each other in years. And Tim Salmon was saying the same thing. You're exactly the same guy, and your smile and this. And they talked and talked and talked and had the best time. And then I went over to Guerrero after Salmon had left, and Guerrero said, I learned a lot from the guys on this team that my dad played with. And there were very, very good players on that team. The late Garrett Anderson among them, right? Tim Salmon.
Erstad?
Erstad, yeah, I think would have been on those teams in the early 2000s. And Guerrero, sure, he was running around having fun, being a little kid, but he was also watching big leaguers be big leaguers. Not just his dad, a whole team of big leaguers. And going back to Anaheim is always a very special experience for Vlad.
All those little things, just the routines, you hear the sayings, you're almost, is inundated the right word? Just sure. you're there and you're kind of soaking it in, maybe even subconsciously. And you know, to be honest with you, that's how my boy was with Gausman. And Gausman was the same guy with my little 11-year-old. And growing up in those major league clubhouses, it's just different. And yes, there's genetics involved, but just being around the atmosphere, you just have a different feel.
3-0 swing by Bo Naylor, and he lifts a fly ball to left for Davis Schneider. Like, you're absorbing things you don't even realize you're absorbing when you're a kid, but by the time now you sign as a 16-year-old, now you're playing minor league ball, now you're getting close to the big leagues. A lot of that stuff's just inside you.
Exactly. Get ahead, 3 pitches or less, just all the sayings, and you hear the terminologies, or you hear certain guys say certain things when they're in the cage swinging. Oh, I got to let it travel, and you don't really know what's going on, but these things kind of soak into your pores, and they start to kind of come out as you get older.
2 down. Here's Brian Rocchio, the number 9 hitter, who hit that ground ball in the 3rd that brought a run home, the 1 run that the Guardians have. Each team with a run on 3 hits thus far. Ground ball in the hole, it's short, and I don't know if Jimenez has a play even if he comes up with it. Rocchio runs very well, and that should, and I'm sure will, be an infield hit for Rocchio. Boy, Gausman's kind of getting soft ground ball to death here so far today.
Nubbed to death. We'd call them little nubbers, and you know that shows the effectiveness of the pitch as you see that ball kind of skirt right under the glove of Jimenez. No play there, but it's a good sign, but it's infuriating when they land for singles or plays that fielders can't make.
And we've seen Gausman have spells of this. I mean, this is his 5th season with the Blue Jays, so we've seen a lot of Kevin Gausman starts, and there are some starts where, and it's got to have something to do with the splitter, the swings are a little funky and the contact is a little funky. It goes in a different direction than you expected would, or it's not hit as hard, but that actually causes a problem rather than being a benefit.
Being left-handed, right-handed, certain swing profiles, if you have a little bit more of an uppercut, it's going to create different spin on the ball, and if it's not hit very hard, it's going to grab that turf and directionally move it one way, left or right. There's all kinds of different factors that play into it. It's an art, not a science, when trying to defend against some of his really good splitters.
Throw to first, that was close, and Guerrero wants the dugout to have a look. Got 15 seconds. Challenge.
Look at the quick feet from Gausman right here. That's a spin move. And then you got the right-handed Vladdy Guerrero Jr. Watch him kind of let that ball travel and just try and get it close to the armpit. I can't see anything there, Dan, but really quick feet by Gausman to give him a chance. What do you got right there?
That angle makes it look like he's out, but I don't know that we see his hand actually make contact with the base. And again, because the call is safe, you've got to have clear and convincing evidence to overturn it. But the Blue Jay replay room feels this is worth a shot.
And I believe this was a probably called pick from the dugout from DeMarlo Hale. 1-1 with 2 outs is a very good running count. Gausman doesn't pick over a lot.
I got him out.
I got him out too.
I got him out from the angle just before this one.
I'm trying to set it up. You see, DeMarlo 1-1. Like, I'm trying to set this thing up. Because he doesn't pick a lot, and I know Kevin Gausman, he rarely picks on his own. A lot of times that's coming from advanced scouting, advanced data, knowing what the other team likes to do with certain runners and certain counts they might like to take off, and you're just kind of playing a percentage right there, but you got to have a quick feet and a good toss to first.
The field is overturned. The runner is out.
There you go. Well done, Gausman. Well done, Guerrero. Well done, replay room. Still 1-1 going bottom 5. Let's get an update with Jamie Campbell. Fans, celebrate your love of baseball and soccer with an Andres Jimenez soccer jersey. On June 12th, be one of the first 15,000 fans and add this one to your collection. Get your tickets now at bluejays.com/promotions. I don't know if Andres played soccer growing up. It looks like it from that video.
Guarantee it. Those are soft feet right there.
We'll have to ask him. And here he is leading off the bottom of the 5th in a 1-1 tie. Ramirez in on the edge of the grass at third, and Hoskins in slightly at first as well. Swung at a curveball in the dirt. 0-2. Is that curveball almost like what they say about a knuckleball? If it's high, let it fly. If it's low, let it go.
Absolutely, and especially when you have that type of bite on the breaking ball like Cantillo has. It's one of those where you see it up and you want to really release, but it has so much depth to it, you find yourself kind of getting above it because it is biting so late.
Comes right back to it, and it's fouled off. There is Yohendrick Pinango, who was called up from AAA Buffalo to take the roster spot of Nathan Lucas, who unfortunately has gone on the IL with a grade 1 hamstring strain. Pinango putting up good numbers at AAA Buffalo this year. 288, 3 homers, 13 RBIs, and 858 OPS. And whenever he makes his first appearance, it will be a major league debut for Pinango. Swung on and missed. Jimenez down on strikes for out number 1. The Blue Jays got Pinango in a trade for Nate Pearson back at the deadline in 2024. Blue Jays were having a down year and traded away, I think, 8 or 9 players right at the trade deadline in 2024. Some of those guys are now starting to get to the point where they are hopefully becoming options here at the big league level, and Pinango is among them. Talked to Lucas today. He was hoping maybe it's 2 to 3 weeks, not like a 4 to 6 week thing. Bunted foul by Heineman. I asked Lucas, have you ever had this before? He said, I had one back in 2021. I think he was still in the Rays organization then. He said it felt similar, and it was about 2.5 to 3 weeks, but you just feel for him. Dealt with vertigo at the beginning of the year, had gotten so hot, was playing so well, and then bang, this happened. So an unfortunate situation for him and for the team, the way that he was performing. Good changeup to get Heineman 2 down as we check in with Hazel.
You guys were talking about Pinango. John Schneider said pregame that the thing that stands out about him is his bat speed. He hits the ball hard. He's got a good way about his hitting. And I loved what he said. He said, quote unquote, he has some bad intentions at the plate. And out of all the guys that are down there at AAA, he performed the very best. So he earned this call up, guys.
You like bad intentions.
I love that. I love that. It fits right in with what hitting coach David Popkins and Lou Iannotti, they're preaching. They're preaching, get your A swing off and get up there and let it rip. And I love that term because we saw that from him in spring training. He was trying to lose his spine swinging the bat. And when you combine that with a good eye at the plate, you've got a really unique combo. And so they desperately need some damage, and he obviously was doing a little bit of damage, and I guarantee you he's going to fit right into what the hitting staff is trying to preach up here.
Left-handed batter, so he figures to start against righties, and the Guardians have a righty on the mound tomorrow in Slade Ciccone. So even if he doesn't get into the game today, it's very likely that he and Sanchez will be manning, one of them in left field and one of them in right field tomorrow. Meanwhile, in the Guardians pen, right-hander Matt Festa has started to throw. A towering fly ball down the left field line. Will it stay in play? Whoa, it's dropped, and it's fair. And Straw is at second base, as Valera could not squeeze it.
Well, Valera had a bit of a suspect route in yesterday's game off the bat of Jimenez, and look at this route. He's unsure. Look at that. That's an absolute banana route right there. He's running left, he's running right, he's now underneath it, then he overruns it, and you could just tell he's not seeing the ball really well here. Credit Straw for getting out of the box, but that's 2 games in a row that he has looked very uncomfortable in left field. And you just don't see that very often in the big leagues. You don't see routes like that, especially with that type of hang time. You see the left fielder kind of glide over there and has plenty of room. That ball wasn't even really close to the wall, but right out the gate, you could tell he was uncomfortable.
And again, he's only in the game because Stephen Kwan was a late scratch with a stiff neck. So Kwan was to have been in center, but Angel Martinez was supposed to be in left. Kwan scratched. Martinez to center, Valera in left. And at least for the moment, that has been scored a double for Miles Straw. That ball's got to be caught.
It's the rule, I think, that they go by if it doesn't touch the leather, but yeah, it's an E7 in my book.
It's a break for the Blue Jays is what it is. Can Ernie Clement take advantage? With a runner at second and 2 down, Clement doubled in the first and struck out in the third. Changeup, a weapon for Cantillo against Clement. Now the double came off a changeup too, but it was up and inner half. He's thrown some really good ones down and away, striking out Clement with one of them in the third. Little dribbler. This might spin back, so Clement is running just in case that had spun back into fair territory.
It was trying to spin back. A lot of times when you get that ball off the end of the bat, especially with a bat that is got a cup in it. Without any cup, it would not do this. But watch, you see that ball spinning. You can tell that the ball is cut. There's a little cut in that baseball right underneath the back side of it. And if that ball hits dirt, I can almost guarantee you it would spin back into fair territory. So much so that Clement's got to change his bat. Kind of frayed the end of that bat right in half, right off the cup of that bat.
Cantillo ahead 1-2. Clement has seen 3 changeups in this at bat, trying to square one up and bring Miles Straw home. Changeup again, and Ernie Clement might be the only guy in baseball who would be able to foul that pitch off. That was way outside.
It's just like a two-seamer, but at 79, 80 miles per hour. Look, nothing about that is aesthetically pleasing, but battling, trying to get himself one in the zone to barrel up.
Curveball grounded to short. And Rocchio will make the play. Straw is stranded, and it's tied at 1 at the end of 5. The Sportsnet Plus City TV Plus bundle brings you big moment playoff games, the Blue Jays, and must-watch series from HGTV, Food Network, Bravo, and more. Visit sportsnetplus.ca to bundle today. A look at a lot of the different jerseys the Blue Jays have worn over their 50-year history. Kevin Gausman's been a part of that history now for 5 years, and what a free agent signing this has turned into, with most of this 5th season still to go. Another really good effort by Gausman here today. Top of the order for the Guardians. Angel Martinez to lead it off in the 6th. A ground out and a base hit and a stolen base for Martinez, who hit 2 home runs last night. Pulls a splitter foul, 1-1. In the air to left, and lots of room for Davis Schneider. 1 down.
So something Kevin Gausman kind of started a couple of years ago, I noticed, was a pre-pitch routine. We talk about this often with infielders kind of come and set, but watch Gausman, ball in the glove. He's going to flip it to his right hand. Watch this right here. He's going to flip. Now he's going to go hands up, right foot in, top of the cap, hand back, and now he's going to pitch. And then it's going to be a little bit differently or extended after this first pitch right here. Now watch this. He's going to catch the ball. He's going to go lick, wipe, ball up, left toe, right toe, hands up, dig in, bill of the cap, back of the cap, get the set, do his pumps, and go. That's what he will do every single time. Here it is. Let's see if we can get it right. Catch, lick, wipe, ball up, hands up. Oh, he messed me up, Kevin. You're supposed to go left toe, right toe, but a lot of this might be dependent on the pitch clock. But every single time he will do something very similar to that.
Line drive into center. Solid contact for the rookie Chase DeLauder. A 1-out base hit. How much of that routine did he have when you were catching him in Baltimore?
0. He had 0, and he didn't have that until a couple years ago here in Toronto. And I asked him about it. He said, now it's almost like I can't throw a pitch without doing this. And the pitch clock has kind of interrupted a little bit of it as well. When he had no pitch clock, it would be the full routine, hands up, left toe, right toe, lick, wipe, all of these different things. And creatures of habit. And I love that that is something that is part of his routine that's unique to him.
Jose Ramirez is the batter. A ground out in the first, and then just a great at bat, doubling to left center. after Gausman had made a bunch of good pitches but couldn't put them away. That came in the fourth. And Gausman coming right after him with a couple of fastballs. It's 0-2. Splitter taken in the dirt. Look at the deep knee bend that Ramirez did as he took that pitch. Dylan Cease pushed back a day. He will start Monday against Boston as Ramirez lines one to left. Schneider back will make the catch for the second out. That is a very big out considering who the hitter is.
It's huge to be able to keep him not only in the park but off the bases, just making pitches. And Kevin's done that after about the third inning. Really started to kind of settle in, become more efficient. Only 80 pitches through 5 2/3. He's doing exactly what he needed to do coming off of a really short start from Scherzer yesterday.
Rhys Hoskins 0 for 2 on a couple of groundouts. Swings over the top of a splitter. 0-1. With activity in the Guardians pen, right-hander Peyton Paulette is up. We saw Matt Festa up earlier. Paulette just getting going out there. Beat him with a fastball. Hoskins about halfway through was regretting that swing.
Yeah, Hoskins likes the ball kind of middle down, nestling into him. His profile is more of a left-handed hitter. Up across the zone is typically pretty good against him.
Ahead 1-2. Got him. Right back to the high heater. And the third strikeout of the afternoon for Kevin Gausman. A strong 6 innings for him. The Blue Jays coming up in this 1-1 tie. As you know, there have been some iconic home runs hit throughout Blue Jays history, and now is your chance to have 5 of the most legendary homers all on one t-shirt. On May 11th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a Blue Jays legendary home run t-shirt presented by Ryobi. Learn more at bluejays.com/promotions. 2 of them from the playoff run of last October. One of them hit by Guerrero. One of them, of course, hit by George Springer. Here's Vladdy now leading off the bottom of the 6th. A ground out and a fly out for Guerrero, so he's 0 for 6 here in this series against the Guardians. Curveball that he shoots to right for a base hit.
You got to do a lot of things right to blast a curveball from a left-handed hitter to the opposite field. You got to let this thing travel. See the grip? He's going to pronate over that. He's going to see that ball going out and around. Vladdy just stays on it. You got to let that ball travel really deep to be able to hit that hard. Good swing by 27.
And now here is Okamoto, who homered his last time up. And the 2 home runs, Caleb, that Okamoto has hit the last 2 days are 2 of the 4 longest home runs any Blue Jay has hit this year. Guerrero has the other 2. 430 last night, 425 today. And the count in his favor at 2-0. A close take that's just low, and it's 3-0.
You green light him?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Step in the bucket and let it eat. Pull side.
Runner goes. It's a strike, and Guerrero steals second.
Love that. Love that. We call that the sneak attack. 3-0, it's such a sleepy count. If you're a pitcher, you're thinking about getting that ball over the plate, getting back into the count. It's such, look at that. He's holding his hand like he's fiddling around with his sliding mitt, just baiting him. That was a bait and switch tactic. Love that. Savvy move up by 27 and now getting in scoring position. And now instead of slug, you just need a base hit to take the lead.
Second of the season for Guerrero. Good cut at it, but he fouled it back. 3-2. Do you think Okamoto knew Guerrero was going and purposely took the pitch?
You can see that as a right-handed batter. You feel it, and if you feel the jump in that count leverage spot, you take it. Let him get there.
Pulled through the left side for a base hit. Guerrero started back to second to make sure the ball got through, so he stops at third. But the Blue Jays have something brewing here in the sixth.
Another good swing by Okamoto. This is a breaking ball from Cantillo. Look at that. Trying to get that elevated. Hits the top third part of the baseball. But it starts to mount an inning for the Blue Jays as Vogt's out.
A pitching change is coming. A righty is coming in, and a Jesus Sanchez looks like he is coming up as the Blue Jays try to take the lead. Jesus Sanchez is coming up. He will pinch hit for Eloy Jimenez because Stephen Vogt has brought a right-hander into the game. That right-hander is Matt Festa.
Festa's 7th season in the big leagues, time with the Mariners, Mets, Rangers, and now Guardians. It's going to be a lot of spin for Festa. Not overpowering. Fastball is really only that 90-91, but it's going to be a lot of sweepers, a lot of horizontal movement on that sweeper. You got to stay in the middle of the ballpark. Try not to get around one of those sweepers as a left-handed batter.
Guerrero at third, Okamoto at first, and nobody out. A fastball in at the knees, and Sanchez
Calls a strike. The batter
is challenging right away. And it's a strike at the bottom of the zone.
Calls confirmed. Pitches and strike. Toronto has one challenge remaining.
The Blue Jays lose one of their 2 challenges. Each team now with 1 remaining. There again, 0-2, and Sanchez is a do damage down in the zone guy. That's where he likes the fastball.
Tells me he's probably sitting soft, because when you're sitting soft and you get a ball that comes out of that low lane, it's an easy check down.
And a swing and a miss. So he took a couple down, and then with the count being what it was, had to go after the one up. So not what the Blue Jays were hoping for in that pinch hit at bat. Now Dalton Varsho, as Cantillo, the starter, looks on from the first base dugout. Varsho 0 for 2. The Blue Jays 1 for 7 thus far with runners in scoring position. And it was the hit by Okamoto this inning, but he didn't cash in Guerrero. He was held at third. They've just got to find a way to hit better, and it'll happen. It'll self-correct. It'll normalize, but for the most part this season it just hasn't been happening for them. One and 2 the count. Varsho with a ground ball that will get by Brito and into right field. Guerrero in to score. Around to third comes Okamoto. We'll wait for the scoring, but either way the Blue Jays have the lead.
Well, Varsho is able to put it in play, and Brito at second base based off of the chopping part of the baseball. He's really trying to crowd that baseball and charge it to try and turn 2. I'm not sure you're going to do it against Varsho. Look at him. He's going for it. He was going for it right there to kind of grab that ball and spin to second base, try and turn two. But you can see Varsho gets out of the box really well. And it looks to me like he might have been coming home right there. He might have read that play and read go home. Either way, Blue Jays benefit from it.
It goes as an RBI single for Varsho, and the Blue Jays lead 2-1. And here's Davis Schneider. Varsho's got a pretty aggressive looking lead over there at first, and draws a throw. Davis Schneider, not really a hit the ball on the ground very often kind of guy. He's a get it in the air guy, but if you can stay out of a double play, you'd love to. Schneider hoping to elevate, get it to the outfield, and at least get one home. And there goes Varsho. They throw through, but it's not in time. How about 2 stolen bases in the inning for a team that hasn't run much at all this year?
Love that good jump from Varsho here at first base. Good strong throw by Naylor. Quick tag right there, but it's a really good play. I love that play because it forces the ball in the middle of the field. Would love for Okamoto to maybe take off if he sees that ball clear the pitcher next time.
Infield in. Second and third, 1-1 the count. Fouled back by Schneider, 1-2. And the pitch. Check swing. He went around, says Ramon de Jesus down at first. Schneider can't believe it, but he is called out.
It's a tough pitch to kind of hold your check swing on the one running up and in on you, and you can see looks like you might have win.
That is the second out, and that is going to leave it up to Andres Jimenez to try to extend the lead. Infielders have all backed up with the exception of Ramirez at third. Jimenez sends the ball towards the left field corner. Valera, a sliding attempt, can't get it, and it's a fair ball. And Jimenez is standing at second with a 2-run double. He had one of those down into the corner last night.
He sure did. Jimenez has been going line to line this entire season, and it just opens up so many parts of his game. It's probably not his hardest hit ball, probably not the trajectory that he wanted, but he's able to get barrel to baseball and put it perfectly right down that line. Valera was trying everything he could to get over there, but when you're pinching towards the middle, it's a long way to go, and that's the biggest thing I've been able to tell with Jimenez, his ability to put it in play, not try and do too much and find quite a few holes out there.
That is a big 2-out hit, and as you said, not the hardest hit of his season, but hit it to the right spot. He is the club leader in RBIs now with 16, Andres Jimenez. Tyler Heineman takes a strike. It's 1-1. 3 runs on 4 hits, a couple of stolen bases mixed in, and it is 4-1 Blue Jays. 1-2 on Heineman. And a swing and a miss. I think Heineman is saying he tipped it. Yes, I did. He is saying he fouled that ball off, but that is not the call. That is not a reviewable play. So that's a strikeout to end the inning, but it's a good one for the Blue Jays. They needed a couple of clutch hits. They weren't the hardest hit balls they've had in the game, but Varsho with an RBI single, Jimenez with a 2-run double. 4-1 at the end of 6. Beyond the Baseline's meeting rooms at Rogers Center offer a bold new way to meet and inspire. With a variety of room styles designed for everything from executive board meetings to client presentations, workshops, and strategy sessions, there's a space suited for every type of meeting. For more information, visit bluejays.com/meetingrooms.com. I think after every broadcast, we should go to one of those rooms and just break it down a little.
I'm in. I'm in.
Just talk it through.
I will follow your lead.
Think we've got the clout to pull that off? 4-1 Blue Jays top 7. George Valera has had a couple of plays down in the left field corner that have not gone his way. The Blue Jays are up now 4-1. Fair ball. Guerrero's got it. Long toss to Gausman in time.
We know Vladdy has one of the best arms at first base in the big leagues. He loves showing it off, and I love how he kind of moves towards this ball, moving back, taking his time, setting his feet. That's the big thing. Set your feet, because it's tough sometimes hitting a pitcher running, because that pitcher's got to catch that ball and tag the base. You got to feed it to him perfectly. Loved how he set his feet, had time, secured the out. First out of an inning is always the most important one, especially once you score. Big first play right there.
Here's David Fry, who lifts a high fly ball to left. Schneider back at the wall, turns and watches it go. Fry got a slider and hits it out for his first home run of the season to make it 4-2.
He had only thrown 2 sliders before that slider coming into this at bat. A lot of times when he tries to do that, he's just trying to steal a strike, protect the fastball, protect the split. And you can tell right out of the hand it's starting to back up, and those act as BP fastballs, and especially when you don't have to reverse to spin. Sliders have that overspin, and you don't have to reverse it. They travel. My bad.
Juan Brito, the batter, with Mason Fluharty now up in the bullpen for the Blue Jays. Gausman sitting at 88 pitches. Dealing with the bottom of the order right now. Will they give him a chance to get through this inning if everything goes well? Pitch count's reasonable. Foul back, 1-2. Pete Walker, John Schneider, constant conversations.
Yeah, the only 2 guys not to pitch yesterday, Rogers and Varland. Tried. You'd love to be able to sneak through here without having to use somebody. Hoffman as well.
In the air, right center field. Long run, Varsho. 2 down.
It's all about routes for Dalton Varsho. His routes are so efficient, you don't even really pick up on it at times. Watch his starting position and watch how he goes right, direct line to the finishing spot. If you don't make that direct line, that's very possibly in the gap, setting up a big inning for the Guardians.
And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leading the applause on the mound as Kevin Gausman will hand the ball to John Schneider. 6 2/3 for Gausman here today. Schneider will turn it over to Mason Fluharty and the bullpen. A great effort by Gausman to give the Blue Jays a 2-run lead here in the 7th. The deepest into a game that Kevin Gausman has gone so far this year. 6 2/3, just 2 runs allowed. And John Schneider hands it over to Mason Fluharty. Facing Bo Naylor for the 2nd game in a row. He struck Naylor out last night. Naylor 0 for 2 today. 2 outs, the base is empty, and a left-on-left matchup here for Fluharty. Sweeper is low, a ball and a strike. I think Fluharty is about as, with his routine between pitches, he's almost Gausman-like in the way that he repeats the same thing between every single pitch. That is line foul, just foul. down the right field line, says Ramon De Jesus, the first base umpire.
Just off the end of the bat from Naylor, and it is close. Love that. Routines build confidence, Dan. A lot of times when you're a younger player and you don't have a good solid routine, you can start chasing different types of things, but once you find something that starts to work and you can ingrain it, it gives you confidence that you can always go back to that routine.
Fluharty's also a little bit stronger, about 10 pounds heavier than last year, throwing a little bit harder this year. Peyton Paulette is up for the second time in the Guardians pen. One-two again. Pop back foul our way. There it is. You can see up 1.2 miles per hour. How big of a difference is that?
Oh, it's huge, especially considering his arm angle and the repertoire that he has. Velocity equals anxiety. And he's using all of the different angles to his advantage. He's all the way over as far as he can on that first base side of the rubber with a lower arm angle. Really allows to create a very, very dangerous look against left-handed hitters. The low slot feels like it's coming right at you. Very hard not to let that front hip fly, but when you add a little bit more velocity, you add something that kind of moves into that changeup, you just start providing insurance on the other pitches.
Ahead 1-2, challenges him again with a cutter up in the zone, and again Naylor fouls it off. Louis Varland is up. So this suggests John Schneider wants Varland against the top of the Guardians lineup. Swing and a miss. He won't have to think about it just yet as Fluharty gets Naylor. And it's 4-2 Blue Jays, 7th inning stretch. Ours 100% electric, pure performance.
And who is it? It's Okamoto. His second homer in consecutive days. He is finding the barrel, folks. And I'm telling you what, he has effortless power to go all the way up top to that WestJet flight deck. That's where the big boys go. And he went there in this game. Beautiful swing. Looks like those adjustments that he's continuing to make are starting to pay big dividends. And guess what, Dan? We're also starting to see a little personality from him as well.
Absolutely. And it is 4-2 Blue Jays, bottom 7. A big part of this Blue Jay lead today. Obviously, Kevin Gausman, the biggest part of the lead the Blue Jays have. Here's right-hander Peyton Paulette into the game for the Cleveland Guardians.
Four-seam curve, slider, and changeup for the right-hander. Second-round pick of the White Sox back in 2022. 8th game of the season. You can see the ERA's low. Whip is low. Add-on runs are huge right here. You really want to add on if you're the Toronto Blue Jays. Create room for error, create margin and space.
Miles Straw will lead it off. This is top of the order. Straw, Clement, and Guerrero. Fastball in there. So moments ago we saw Louis Varland up. Now we see Tyler Rogers. So my read on this is, had it come back around to the top of the order the last half inning for the Guardians, there would have been men on base, there would have been traffic, there would have been tension, and John Schneider wanted Varland in case the water was starting to boil over a little bit. But now that it's a clean inning in the 8th, it'll be Rogers with Varland held back for the 9th. You buying?
I am. I love that highest leverage part of the game, and I think that's what has changed in the last 5, 7, 10 years. Is just there's not set innings. It's the highest leverage point of the game. Sometimes it's the 5th inning, sometimes it's the 7th, but I think John was figuring that was the highest leverage part.
Good swing by Straw, and he lines it into left for a base hit.
Catch every pitch with Canada's most reliable 5G Plus network and best 5G Plus network. Rogers, we got you.
The Blue Jays trying to add to their 2-run lead. Ernie Clement is 1 for 3, had a double in the first. So this is the interesting thing about Varland. Is he the guy you probably want on the mound in a save situation in the 9th inning right now? Yes.
Yes.
Is he the guy who, if there's men on base and the top of the order's coming up in the 7th or 8th, you want in the game?
Yes.
But there's only one Louis Varland.
Exactly.
So John Schneider has to really think through, obviously, and he's well versed in doing this, when he is going to deploy him. And Varland might have come in the 7th had it gotten around to, say, Jose Ramirez with men on base.
I agree.
But now it looks like Varland may not come in until the 9th. As you say, it's just totally different than the game used to be managed. There was a 7th inning guy, an 8th inning guy, and a 9th inning guy. That's not the way it works anymore.
Didn't matter left, right, didn't matter part of the order. It was just, that's your inning, that's his inning, and that's the other guy's inning.
And Louis Varland obviously knows that he could be called upon in a bunch of different scenarios, and he has answered the call in all of them this year. 1-2, shot foul by Clement. Tyler Rogers is much more used to getting a clean inning. Start an inning, finish an inning, get your 3 outs, tip your cap.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah. Grounded up the middle. It's going to get through. Boy, looked like just the slightest bit of indecision there between the middle infielders as to who would take that ball, and nobody got it.
A lot of times that ball up the middle, you're trying to turn to, and you can have a little bit of hesitation. Watch Brito. He has a beat on that ball. The play would have had to have been all the way across to first base. He checks down, hoping that Rocchio was able to grab it. And guess who the benefactor is? Ernie Clement finds another hit.
And now here is Guerrero, 1 for 3, singled and scored his last time up.
This is where you need him right here.
Yeah.
You need him in the gap or over the fence. Get really stingy right here in your approach.
Taking the right swing at the right pitches.
We call that a statue, Dan.
Now, second time this year he's done that in an 0-1 count. How and why are you doing it in an 0-1 count?
To me, his load is so unique in that if he doesn't feel that load, he's checking down. Quick pitch, possibly.
Outside, 2 balls and a strike.
You know, but I also had guys that were auto takers. If they swung at the first pitch, they were auto takers. That they felt like if you swing in zone, the next pitch from the pitcher will be a ball.
Speed aboard, power at the plate. The 2-1. The appeal, he did not go, and it's 3-1. Now, what should he be thinking about?
Dead center. I feel a little pull from him. I feel like he's trying to go a little bit more pull side. I'd love for him to just get the head out, but directionally towards center field. He's got that type of power.
The pitch. Breaking ball that he swings through. 3-2. A slider right on or just off the outside corner. Fouls back the fastball. First and second, nobody out. And again the 3-2. And it's fouled out of play. As Paulette went back to the breaking ball away, Guerrero got a piece of it. He'll take the walk to load the bases. Nothing wrong with passing the baton.
Especially to a red-hot Okamoto. Good plate appearance by Guerrero Jr. Very easy in that situation to kind of give in right there. Feel like you want to extend it. You're the man. I got to get it done. But he's able to rein that discipline in as Carl Willis will come out to have a chat. with Paulette.
Okamoto with a long home run today, almost as long as the one he hit last night. He's also got a base hit, so he's 2 for 3. And 4 for 6 with a walk in the series. A 24-year-old rookie in a jam. Bases loaded, nobody out. Infield coming in for the Guardians. Paulette works from the windup. And Okamoto takes it up high for ball 1. Takes it outside, ball 2. Now 3-0. And clearly the game plan in this at bat is don't throw Okamoto a fastball.
Yeah, he looks a little nervous to me. Paulette does, not even close. Typically, I'd say green light you right here. Because they've been so uncompetitive, I think you got to kind of give him one right now.
Ball 4, and that'll bring in a run. It is 5-2. Nobody is up in the Guardians' pen. Straw comes in to score. The bases are loaded again. Still nobody out. And here's Jesus Sanchez, who struck out on 3 pitches as a pinch hitter an inning ago. And Paulette cannot find the strike zone, and now the bullpen is busy. Connor Brogdon just got up. Bo Naylor's going to buy Brogdon some time with a very slow walk out to the mound. That's Stephen Vogt saying, just go have a chat. Go talk to him.
Yeah, he's obviously kind of lost the zone, and a lot of times as a catcher right there, you're going out and saying, hey man, what do you feel good with? What can we throw here? This is when you throw the scouting report out the window, when you've got a first-year player, bases loaded, and kind of a rowdy crowd building up here. Amazing how offense builds energy inside the Rogers Center. Every single time they don't let you off easy. They kind of start building it up, and they start mounting that pressure on the opposing pitcher. So keep the gas going.
Swings through a fastball, does Sanchez. It's 2-1. Clement at third, Guerrero at second, Okamoto at first. 2-2. And again, Sanchez better with the fastball down than up. Struck out on 1 up. And Paulette coming at him with fastballs up at the belt here in this at bat. Got a piece of that one. The 2-2 again. And another foul back by Sanchez. Five runs on 10 hits now for the Blue Jays in this one, including the Okamoto home run back in the fourth. Another 2-2. And another foul back and another fastball up.
Challenging Sanchez with the four-seamer, and when you're catching and you see all those types of foul balls, even though they're directionally kind of right behind home plate, you do know that that hitter is just a tick late. Might see another one right here.
Pitch number 8 in the at-bat. In the the left field line. Valera coming over will make the catch in fair territory. The throw comes into the plate. Clement stays at third. One down. That's a tricky one for the outfielder because your throw, if the runner is to tag, your throw is kind of directly in the path where the runner is going to the plate, and it can get a little tricky.
Especially as a left-handed left fielder, you're having to grab that ball, transfer over to your throwing side, and really fight for spatial positioning. You got to really kind of let it rip as straight as you can towards that home plate.
Now Varsho hits a ground ball to first. Hoskins coming home. And they will force Clement at the plate for the second out. So the Blue Jays have gotten one, but after that had the bases loaded with nobody out. 2 outs right now. And it'll be up to Davis Schneider, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. The 1-0. In there, a ball and a strike. Guerrero now the lead runner at third. Okamoto at second, and Varsho aboard on a fielder's choice is at first. Swing and a miss. 1-2. This is a pretty impressive recovery for a rookie, given where he was about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, he had no idea where the ball was going, and he's just strategically started to kind of dice these Blue Jays hitters up, hitting spots, changing speeds.
And he strikes out Schneider. So the Blue Jays will have to settle for just one and lead 5-2 at the end of 7. Time now for a Blue Jay Central update with Jamie Campbell and Kevin Barker. Folks, tomorrow night you could win a trip to see the Blue Jays in Boston and a $20,000 cash prize. Get your tickets in the next 24 hours and you could win these prizes plus the mega jackpot, $673,000 and climbing. Visit bluejays.com/5050 to get your tickets now from participating provinces. So it is 5-2. And as is usually the case for Tyler Rogers, he comes in to start a clean inning. He will face the 9 1-2 hitters in the Guardians lineup, with the Blue Jays now up by 3. And a first pitch strike to Brian Rocchio. Everything's a little bit different when Rogers is on the mound. The kind of contact he gets, where the infielders sometimes play, and certainly what the batter sees because of the low arm angle. You told me you faced him and you didn't have any fun at all.
No, not at all, especially from the right side. I knew to look low. I knew to look kind of down towards his shoes and knew what was coming and could not get comfortable whatsoever.
Right on the corner, 2-2.
His location is perfect. As a right-handed hitter, you just feel like you got to bail. That front hip wants to fly, and then he throws that slider away. For lefties, he feels like he's always on the outer half. And I just love the demeanor late in games, especially when things start to ramp up, the crowds start to get big and loud. He just kind of goes in slow motion, and I love that type of demeanor late in games.
Heart rate doesn't look like it goes up.
No.
Outside, and it's full. Top of the order coming up. Angel Martinez next. Shot towards third. Here comes Okamoto. Bit of a high throw, but Guerrero's got it. 1 down.
Another good read by Okamoto. You know that when Rogers comes into the game, you got to be on your toes, ready to charge. internal clock throws on the run. Watch the stretch by Vladdy. Good job keeping his toe on the base right there. Absolutely love that. First outs of innings are huge. Blue Jays secure another one.
Angel Martinez walks up as if to bunt, but just wanted to look one over, and he takes ball one. Okamoto even with the bag. The rest of the infielders backed up. On the corner, 1-1. His command is outstanding.
I loved catching guys like this because you feel like you can play with the ball. You feel like you can manipulate the ball. You trust their command. You can relax. Oh, I just loved catching those backdoor sliders just like that. It's just something about being cornered up and watching it start on the outside half, especially to a left-hander, and just letting that thing just kind of pull itself back into the corner of the zone. No greater feeling.
And another weak ground ball. Okamoto again. Dug out by Vladdy. 2 down.
Yeah, it's actually a really good recovery by Okamoto. He initially read charge, and I think he tried to check down. Watch this little check down move. See that check down? He was trying to go get that hop, but then at the last second realized, maybe I should get the long hop, and he pulls that glove back. But then a really good stretch and pick by Vladdy on the back end. Continual reads, because they're different off of Rogers.
And Okamoto thanking Guerrero for the pick at first. Now Chase to Lauder. It's amazing how much soft contact Tyler Rogers gets.
And it's 2 pitches.
Sinker slider.
At very low velocity compared to the league, and you would just think, and I remember sitting back behind the plate thinking, how is this guy not getting crushed? But they just induce weak contact over and over and over.
Strike 3 called. Tyler Rogers with another clean inning. 3 up and 3 down here in the game, finishing it off with a strikeout, and the Blue Jays still enjoy a 3-run lead. You're watching Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. Dan Schulman, Caleb Joseph, Hazel May, and the Blue Jays up 5-2 going to the bottom of the 8th. A great outing by Kevin Gausman, a big out for Mason Fluharty, a 3 up 3 down 8th for Tyler Rogers. The offense has done enough to this point of the game. Although they have certainly had chances to score more, they still are up by 3 as Connor Brogdon is now in bottom 8 for Cleveland to face Andres Jimenez, who has one of the biggest hits of the game, the 2-run double down the left field line back in the 6th. Look at those numbers: 290, 789 OPS. League average is just over 700. He has been a big contributor offensively this year. Little bit in, 3-1. Dalton Varsho may be rehashing that last at bat or something in his setup. David Hopkins has 13 guys to talk to. Pete Walker's got 13 guys to talk to.
Oh, yes.
Louis Varland is up, getting ready for the 9th. A swing and a miss to get Jimenez 1 down. If the score stays, it would be a save situation. If the Blue Jays were to add, it would not. But unless they added a lot, I think John Schneider is sending Louis Varland out for the 9th inning. I don't think 1 run would make a difference here. Here's Tyler Heineman, 1 for 3, had an infield hit in the 3rd. For the Guardians, by the way, it's 3-4-5. Jose Ramirez, Rhys Hoskins, and George Valera. But if you have to face Ramirez to do it with at least a 3-run lead to lead off the inning, that's about the best case scenario. Brogdon a number of years with the Phillies, also briefly a Dodger and an Angel before coming to Cleveland. Got a lively crowd here today. 41,543. Second consecutive sellout here in this weekend series.
They're showing up, Dan.
Yeah.
Every night they're showing up here at the Rogers Center.
Another member of the hitting staff in conversation with Ernie Clement. Strike 3 called and no argument from Heineman. So here's Miles Straw, and Straw has been a part of this. He is 2 for 4. He's got a stolen base, and Caleb, it was Straw's base hit, clean single through the left side that started the 7th inning, and eventually they got a run in that. Grounds it up the middle to his left. Rocchio to throw him out and end the inning. And it will be a 3-run lead, and it will be a save situation, and it will be Louis Varland. Louis Varland, who has not given up an earned run this season, has put out a lot of fires for this team in the early going. And he comes on at home in the 9th in a save situation. A little Louis Light show out on the scoreboard and around the Rogers Center. The first time he's had this kind of a situation in a home game. Of course, he got a save in Anaheim through 1 pitch, got a double play ball. A nasty changeup down and away. It's pretty efficient. 2 outs on 1 pitch to get your first major league save. He's on looking for his 2nd today.
He has looked like a closer since his first outing in spring training. The stuff is there. The mentality is there. Let's see what he can do here in the 9th.
Jose Ramirez will lead it off. He is 1 for 3. Had a double back in the 4th. Every time John Schneider gets asked about Louis Varland, which is happening more and more often, he says Louis Varland is one of my favorite players. He loves the mentality. He loves the no nonsense. Just give me the ball, let me go pitch. If you need me to pitch more, I'll pitch more. If you need me to pitch the next day, I'll pitch the next day.
Talked about demeanor, attitude, and just, he said, when you see him around the clubhouse, you might see him as pretty loose, easygoing, free.
Fly ball to center, playable for Dalton Varsho.
But when Graham slaps his back and he comes out of that bullpen, he turns into an animal. And I think that's exactly what John Schneider loves. He profiles as a closer for me, Dan. Everything about him just reeks of being a closer. The look in his eye, the fierce competitive nature he brings, his motion, the pure stuff. I love this look right now for him.
Here's Rhys Hoskins. And again, the official word yesterday from both Ross Atkins and John Schneider is the 9th inning will be a by committee sort of thing. They will take Jeff Hoffman out of the 9th inning, at least for the time being, try to get him, back on track in some slightly lower leverage situations. It's not guaranteed to always be Varland as Hoffman looks on. It could be Tyler Rogers if the matchup is right. It could be Mason Fluharty. It could be Braden Fisher, but you got to believe Varland will get a lot of them. A little bit high and a challenge coming from Heineman. This is why you save one for the 9th if you can. And it's a strike. Tyler Heineman has found his calling here, Caleb.
Yeah. Page out of Kirky's book.
The 1-2. Out of play. Consistently 98-99 with his fastball. Max Scherzer looking on from the third base dugout. Blue Jays up 5-2 in the ninth. Fastball grounded into center for a base hit as Hoskins turned a 99-mile-an-hour fastball around.
Typically a good spot to go with Hoskins. We've seen him chase up there. Watch him get behind this baseball. You can see that swing moving up and over it. Really trying to focus on getting behind it.
So now George Valera with a runner at first and one out. And he grounds one past a diving Clement into right field for a base hit. And just like that, the Guardians are going to bring the tying run to the plate. And Stephen Vogt has a pinch hitter coming up, one of his regulars who was not in the starting lineup today. Kyle Manzardo, his cleanup hitter a night ago, comes up here in the ninth.
And there's some thump in the bat with Manzardo. Took an 0 for in yesterday's game. 0 for 5, and that'll give the Blue Jays the opportunity to have a free mound visit. And right here, you're talking about get ahead. How do you get back into the count if you're behind, and then how do you want to put them away? What do you like to go here? Maybe it's backdoor breaker to get ahead. If you get behind in the count, what are you going to? Here's your spot. Maybe it's a changeup to get back into it, and then how do you want to finish the batter? Those are the three main things you're talking about right here. And then you're pumping them up. You're saying, hey, we got this. Let's go execute. And then you're walking back hoping to get this thing done and over with.
You saw Daniel Schneemann getting loose in the dugout. Another big part of this Guardians team, so he may be called into action. First and second, one out. Manzardo ready, and the first pitch from Varland very high, ball one. Swing and a miss, a ball and a strike. Two on with a one out. And the 1-1 pitch. High in the air, left center. Can Varsho get there? Off his glove. Schneider gets it back into the infield. A run is in, and it is an RBI double for Manzardo to make it 5-3.
It looked like Varsho was shaded just to the right field side of center field. Otherwise, he probably secures this ball. It's bring the ball middle down. Manzardo goes right back up the middle. There's Varsho. Watch his route. It's really good, and he is beaten and he is tracking. Now remember, Schneider is close and in left field as well, just off the tip of the glove from Varsho. Watch this in slow motion. He gets everything out of it right off the tip. A half of an inch closer, he secures that baseball.
Here's Juan Brito. The tying run is now at second. Fouled straight back, and it's 0-1. Schneemann is now running for Manzardo. One and one, the count on Brito. Misses down and away, trying to change up, but Brito wouldn't go after it. Infield back with the exception of Okamoto. And the 2-1 pitch down and in, ball three. Guardians are perking up here in the ninth inning. Trying to support Varland, who's not close, and that is ball four to load the bases.
Ninth inning's different, Dan. It just is. He was able to get Ramirez on an F8 to start this inning. You think, okay, that's a really good sign. And a good swing by Hoskins, then an ambush by Valera. And before you know it, you're kind of right behind the 8-ball. Now you're trying to really check and make sure that your scouting report is on point. You got to try and find pitches that get in the zone, but you can't give in right here. You got bases loaded, and you're trying to really settle the nerves down, settle that heart rate down as much as you can. You're one pitch away from getting out of this, but you miss over the middle, it could flip really, really quickly.
Nobody's up in the bullpen. This is Louis Varland's inning here today. A run is in. The bases are loaded with 1 out. And the hitter is going to be Bo Naylor. 0 for 3. Whoever coined the phrase nervous ninth knew what he or she was talking about, because that's what this is right now. The Blue Jays trying to hang on and win this ball game. Naylor takes ball 1. Good fastball fouled back, 1-1. Everybody locked in on what's going on the mound and at the plate. The 1-1 pitch. Fouled off, 1-2.
Love that changeup right there. Good pitch. See the out front swing from Naylor. Really good pitch. Keep executing.
Now they may be getting somebody else up. Walker was on the phone. Varland ahead in the count. Curveball down and in, 2-2. Tied him up. Naylor got a piece of it. Braden Fisher getting up. And getting up with a purpose. The count remains 2-2. And another foul back by Naylor. Quality at bats from the Guardians here in the 9th. Two again. Ground ball foul up the first baseline. 7 pitches now in the at bat. Naylor has fouled off 5 of them. Time, Varland will try to put him away. The 2-2 again. Got him. That changeup diving straight down for out number 2.
Love that pitch for Varland. A pitch he really wanted to expand this season and use, especially versus lefties. And watch this action. See the grip. Watch him pronate it. Watch that late action. Beautiful pitch. Loved how he doubled up on that as well. A lot of times you throw that one change up. If you don't back it up, they're able to sit hard.
2 down, and here's Brian Rocchio. The curveball's high. Heineman challenging.
Caught a ball, the catcher challenging.
And not this time for Heineman.
Pitches the ball. Toronto has no challenge information.
Blue Jays out of challenges for this inning, and it is 1-0 on Rocchio. The bases are loaded for the Guardians. Valera, Schneemann, and Brito. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1. The 1-1. Outside, ball 2. He is feeling very confident with his changeup today. Throwing it often. That one didn't move the way that the one did on the strikeout of Naylor. 2-1. In there. 2-2. Wasn't easy. It took some doing, but Louis Varland got it done. Picks up his second big league save, and the Blue Jays win by a score of 5-3.
He bent, but he didn't break, Dan. And I'll tell you, it felt like this was a must win. And there's no such thing as must wins at this point in the season. But, man, you could just feel the energy around this club. They just needed a W. And I just go back to Kevin Gausman setting the stage. He got pressured in the third. He got pressured in the fourth. And he was able to continue to put up zeros to buy his offense some time to break out. And break out they did. Big W for the club in the second game of this series.
So they have earned a split in the series so far. They will go for a series win tomorrow afternoon. We will have it for you. Again, the final 5-3. Time now for Blue Jay Central with Jamie and Kevin.
Shut that door. Boy. Boy, Louie.